deal with every day? Seriously. You push go live, and we go live there, Jay William. It's not that difficult.
All right.
Okay, so what's it look like?
Well, I look pretty good. All right. Well, we take the glasses
you have to keep up. You want me to put? Yeah, you're gonna do that over here, so I can talk to you people. He doesn't know.
Here's what's interesting. Okay, we came up with this idea, thought about this, and we would not be here.
Oh, sorry.
We would not be here because without the pandemic, because we're supposed to be in Florida right now. And if you think we'd be doing a webinar, from Florida, but we the word crisis means dangerous opportunity. So when it came about that we were not going to Florida, we thought this is an opportunity for us to build into marriages in a free way and a fun way. And so that's what we're going to do. It's been an interesting week here among the LaFood household.
You know what? One things we're really enjoying, first of all, is we're sleeping in later because what's there to get up for?
And then, it's like, why am I so tired? Well, it's because you're sleeping too much.
But one thing I read in the newspaper, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I found this hilarious, is that Walmart is showing an increase in sales of tops. Not bottoms.
Just top. Do you know why?
Because just like us, we have a really nice top right here. Now, we have sweatpants on. We're not naked underneath there. But what they're saying.
But do you really know?
But what they're saying is people who are doing, like their Zoom office calls and all this stuff.
Do you really know?
Tops, and they don't need the bottoms. I just thought that was hilarious.
My goal is to see how many days I can go without wearing pants. Okay? Now
pants. He wears sweatpants around the house. Please realize that. He is wearing sweatpants around the house. Of course,
am I?
Yes, you are. Because in a normal JMR life where we travel, and then we're home for a few days, we have what we call our dress sweats and our work sweats. And our work sweats are like pajama bottoms, and our dress sweats are like nicer Adidas sweatpants that we go out that don't look
If you only knew. If you only knew.
Also, as a result of this pandemic, our 22-year-old daughter has come home because she lives in an apartment by herself in Grand Rapids.
And we didn't want her.
And we just said, you know what? You need to come home. Bring your cat, which is quite entertaining. Bring your toilet paper. Bring your Clorox wipes. But what we didn't think she was going to bring was a mom attitude. I mean, seriously, she's like our mother. We have to sneak away to go to the grocery store when we need essentials because she wants to go shopping for us. And we're like, no, we need to get away from the house. And I want you to know, we're very safe. When we go to the grocery store, our grocery store that we shop at here in Michigan is called Meijer. And they have these Purell hand wipes when you walk in. So we each take 2 or 3 in our hands. Jay uses them to push the cart, and I use them to wipe down every item we pick up. And then I use it to punch in all the little numbers on the cash register.
Anyway.
And then, hey, I'm telling the whole story. And then when we get in the car, we Clorox wipe. So we're very safe. I just want you to know we are very safe when we go out. But
so we told her we were going to the post office, which we were.
Well, we were going to the post office, and we were going to pick up a takeout for lunch because we're trying to support our local businesses. And so we got her order, and when we got to the post office and we made the order for the food, it was going to take 40 minutes. And we're like, what are we going to do for 40 minutes? We're going to drive around for 40 minutes. So we went to Meijer because we had a list for our Meijer grocery store, even though Grace had said she would go for us. We're like, no, let's just go. We did our little routine with our hand wipes. We got our groceries. We came back.
We snuck home.
We kind of put them away before she got back. But we had some grapes. And so I put the grapes in the sink and washed them and just kind of put them in a little corner in the sink. She came home from going grocery shopping for her grandma and her aunt. And she came upstairs to our office and she's talking to us. And then all of a sudden she goes, are those grapes in the sink? Did you guys go to the grocery store? And we're like, no, mother, we did. It's like, she's never going to trust us again when we say we're going to the grocery store. But yes, that's what we've gotten is a mother in our house.
So last week we talked about the fact that you got to laugh.
Hi, Cindy Eldred.
In the midst of all this, you've got to laugh. So you can just comment there. You don't have to comment out loud as you're typing. I know that's hard for you to do.
Look, Johnny joined too.
Well, Johnny.
Anyway. And I wanted to tell people, we'll come back to this, but I'll talk about Cindy and her daughter. At the end. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
We'll let you keep going.
Thank you. So anyway, we last week we talked about the fact you got to laugh in the midst of all of this. You got to keep your sense of humor. It's huge in your relationship. Today we're going to talk about the fact you got to love, and it's very difficult to practice love. We're going to give you 4 habits that will help you practice your love this week. But we were kind of reminded of this in two ways. Number one, my friend Keith on Facebook, he did this cool thing. He did a rendition of "I Want to Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles, because he said, I can remember the exact day, the exact place, the exact time when I first held my wife's hand, because we were 15. They were high school sweethearts, and they held hands by a reservoir. It was so cool. And then last night, we were watching Young Sheldon. Don't know if you like that show or not, but Missy, Sheldon's sister, she's like 11.
She's like my alter ego.
Right, and she's like, Laura, she held a boy's hand for the first time. And Laura and I, you know our story. We met on a blind date. 10 days later, I asked her to marry me. But I don't remember ever holding her hand first. But what I do remember is our first kiss. I do. We had been together about 8 days, about 8 days after our blind date. And she and her best friend invited me to go to the mountains of North Carolina with them. Separate rooms, okay, all that kind of stuff. But, come to the mountains of North Carolina. And when they did that, we were at her friend's house. And so we went outside and went to our separate cars. And I went to her car and I just said, listen, I can't go to the mountains with you without telling you that I have very strong feelings for you. And she said, well, I have very strong feelings for you too. And so then I said, can I give you a kiss? And she said, yes. And I leaned over and I kissed her. And I'm going to tell you, the only thing that ran through my mind was, man, does she have a big nose?
Are you serious? Serious?
Turn sideways.
You just said that. No, I'm not turning sideways.
I did.
Because he thinks he has the perfect nose.
I'm like, this is a good kiss, but man, does she have a big nose? So then she got in her car. She turned on the radio, and Lionel Richie's "Stuck on You" came on, which is a really romantic song. I went to my car, turned on the radio, and literally it was Rod Stewart. If you want my body and you come sexy. Oh, those were the days.
He just said I have a big nose.
Do you remember?
Seriously. Ladies, what other things does your husband say to you that you wish he would just not say? Now, if it's not clean, don't put it on the comments. But
big heavy thing. It's
but anyway.
So wait, the question is this. Do you remember when you fell in love? Okay, because I did fall in love that night. That was the night I fell in love.
With me and the big nose and all, apparently.
But yes. Do you remember? So I want you to stop for a moment in these trying times and think back when you fell in love. Because honestly, folks, this is some of what we've really got to do during these times is remember. We've got to reminisce. We've got to remember the memories that we made together. And so we're going to give you...
If you don't remember them, just look on your Facebook every day because they come up the first thing.
So we've got four tonight. We've got four habits.
As we talk about the fundamental of love, the second fundamental to celebrating your marriage during these crazy times is love. And we're going to talk about 4 habits that you need to build into your love in order to celebrate your marriage. And the first one is to serve your spouse. And now I know, times when we're normal, which aren't like now, when we're going through our day, we all go to work, the kids all go to school, and there's just not time to do some of these things that we know we need to do for our marriage. Well, guess what? Now we got all the time.
Plenty of time.
So work on serving your spouse. Now, this is too funny because just the other day we were coming into our neighborhood, and as we drove in, the first
Wait, Kathy Williamson, they say your nose grows throughout your life.
Oh, thanks, Kathy. That means it's going to get bigger.
That's awesome.
Hopefully it shrinks. I'm trying to shrink it. But anyway, so we pulled into the neighborhood the other morning, and it was actually in the afternoon. And it might have been the day we escaped to go to Meijer. But we pulled in, and the first house on the corner, I was kind of, we drive slow because we're in a small neighborhood. You got to drive 10 miles an hour. And I look to my right out my window, and I see this gentleman sitting in his garage,
maybe 30s,
sitting in his garage in a chair on his computer, and it wasn't really warm outside yet. We've just gotten warm in the last day or two, but he was sitting in his garage. And I said to Jay, I know what he's doing. He's got like 4 kids. He's like, I just got to go sit in the garage. I just need a break, because this is reality, folks. You are not used to being in your house with everybody in your family 24/7.
Unlike
Now,
us, who we love it. That's right.
We're together all the time with what we do, and we're even under stress. I mean, I'm just like, you know what? Don't even get in my face right now. But anyway, so give each other a break. That's one way you can serve each other, is to give each other a break. Let one go outside and sit in the backyard for a little while you pay attention to the kids, or, give each other a break for whatever it might be. You know what? I'm going to go upstairs and watch my TV show. You can stay down here and watch your TV show.
So interestingly
whatever
enough,
it might be.
The next day, we're driving by that same house, and the wife is outside
She
in
was
the
sitting
chair
in the garage.
doing her thing.
We were cracking up because it's like, just give each other a break. That's one way you can serve each other during this time.
So serving for me is a way I express my love. One of my love languages is acts of service. And so I said to Laura, let's take these few weeks that we're going to be bottled up here, make a list, honey, of all the stuff you want to do around the house. It can't be anything mechanical because I can't fix a thing. But, if you want to rearrange, if you want to, clean out, any of that kind of stuff, let's do it. So she put it on the whiteboard. We've got a little whiteboard on our fridge, and boom, boom, boom. We've got all these little activities that we're doing. We've cleaned the garage. We've cleaned under the sink. We've rearranged some furniture.
We fixed a garbage disposal.
Laura fixed the garbage disposal.
If you know anything about Jay and Laura, if you've been to anything, we are home improvement paired. But we fixed our garbage disposal because the plumber can't come out during these times unless it's an emergency.
Right. So the first is to serve. For some of you, that's easy. For some of you, that's not so easy. But serve each other. Find things to do that can help. Do those things that you've been putting off and putting off and putting off. Because when you get them done, it's like, oh my goodness, we cleaned the garage. I'm like, this is the best my garage has been in years. This is fantastic.
So you've got to serve in this fundamental of love. The second habit that you need to build in this fundamental of love is to communicate. Now, if you've heard us anywhere, date night, celebrate your marriage at a conference, wherever it is, we say this all the time. 15 minutes of uninterrupted conversation every day. Every day.
Now, fellas, I know you're kidding me. But just ask her. Just say, honey, don't say, how was your day? Because she'll say, fine. Say, tell me about your day. And then just listen.
So an app that I found that those of you who are readers might enjoy, because sometimes, you really like to read, but sometimes a book is really long. You just want, do I really want the points or whatever? So I found this app called Blinkist. Now, Blinkist is kind of like Cliff Notes for those of us who are older that we used to use when we were in college and high school, where you could just get the gist of the book without having to read the whole book. Well, that's what Blinkist is. And so you can read a book, just get the gist of the book without reading the whole book. And today I was reading a book by John Gottman about what a successful marriage looks like. I mean, Jay and I always say 15 minutes of uninterrupted conversation. We've always said that. But John Gottman, who has like a degree in this stuff, which we don't. We're just living our marriage in front of you. He's like smarter than we are. He says this: daily conversation is what makes a successful marriage. And it doesn't have to be life altering. It can be trivial. It should be trivial. So while you have this time at home, while you're there, you get up in the morning and the kids can watch cartoons, or maybe while they're doing their schoolwork, whatever. Get a cup of coffee, sit down across from each other at the counter and go, so what should we do today?
And
what's our plan today?
Right. Simply ask your wife. So in the last 24 hours, how many ways have you thought of killing me? Anyway, so the other thing that you've got to do is go for a walk together. We've had 2 really nice days here in Michigan. So Laura and I have gone for a couple of walks, got a little sun on her face, got a little conversation that wasn't deep, but was meaningful. And it really helps ease the tension. One of the things that we've dealt with, I don't know about you, when you're cooped up, is tone of voice. Now, I've had tone of voice issues my entire life. So Laura, for 35 years now, she's had to deal with that.
And poor Jace, he's having to deal with it for a couple months, and he thinks it's like excruciating pain. Because I've developed a tone of voice because I've learned from an expert about tone of voice.
No, because you're going change. Anyway, Laura's favorite word these days is no. I said, you want to do this? No. And it's not like, no. It's like, no.
He's exaggerating, and those of you who know us know that he always exaggerates.
Right, Laura.
But I have come to understand that no kind of is the first word out of our mouth. my mouth sometimes. And
She is odd.
disagreeing with
She
him.
has oppositional defiance disorder.
Thanks, Nancy Kreitz, for that.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, anything that comes out of my mouth, she's going to say the opposite thing. That's for sure. But yes, thanks, Nancy Kreitz. You've
for
helped
giving us that term. Thank you
because
very
now
much.
I've diagnosed Laura because it really is what she is. So you've got to serve. You've got to communicate.
And you have to have intimacy. And believe me, even though we have been empty nesters for several years, and now the 22-year-old mother is back home, this is a hard thing to take care of. It really is. It's difficult.
Take care of. It's like the dishes. We gotta be intimate. Let's go put it on the list.
Dishes are easy. It's difficult during these times, and I'll say it's difficult for me. You want to know why? Because my hair and nail salon has closed down. I mean, seriously, my nails, they're gone. They're just all gone, and they hurt, and they're split, and whatever. I'm gonna get gray hair. It's just gonna happen. And then you know what's really bad is these eyebrows and this chin, because I don't have anybody.
I feel like I'm kissing a fella.
Say,
not good.
Oh, please.
But anyway.
It's hard to feel romantic and sexy and all of that stuff. And you know what? Let's go back to the step before that. As long as you communicate about that, that's okay. To say, you know what? I'm just not feeling it. This is a different time. Every marriage goes through seasons, and we are all in this crazy season right now. But you can still be intimate. You can still sit next to each other on the couch and hold hands. You can still, go for walks and laugh with each other and hold hands. That's all intimacy. I mean, if you're lucky to be in your home as an empty nest and not have anybody in your home with you, have at it. That's all I'm saying.
Get back in. Now, if you do have children in the house, which I know many of you do, we have a very simple tool. It's called Vaseline. Okay, it's a wonderful tool to help your intimate life when there's kids in the house. Now, here's what you do: you just take some of this, you spread it all over the door handle of your bedroom, so the kids can't turn the door handle. It just slips right off, and you're safe.
And Holly, I know there are things called tweezers. I have those, but you don't understand.
We need a lawnmower.
That's going on here. I'm gonna have to go to I'm gonna have to sneak out. I'm gonna have to sneak out from my mother, my Grace mother, and go find me some wax strips because it's just like, yeah. Thanks for the tip, though, Holly. I appreciate it. But I'm pretty sure I'm several years older than you. And John shaved his beard. Come on, let's go. That's where it's at. But anyway,
so we have service, communication, intimacy, and finally we have respect. One of the things that we have to remember during this time, because it is such a tenuous time, it is such a tense time, it is one of those things that no one's ever navigated this before. So what do we have to do? We have to respect each other in this area. We're all in this together, right?
We really are. It's not like the house next door isn't going through the same thing. I mean, we've been out the last 2 days for a walk. We've been social distancing. We don't walk close to anybody else. But we have more people out in our neighborhood doing work in their yard, going for walks, going for golf cart rides, going for bike rides. We walked the bike trail that we have in our town yesterday, and it was packed. I mean, we walk it in the summertime every day, but it was packed yesterday. Everybody's going through the same thing. And so when you're in your house, sheltered in place, quarantined, realize that, you know what? This isn't normal. It's just not. And it will pass. So let's show each other respect in these times for what we're going through and realize that, you know what? There are things bigger than us. And here's an example I'll give you. Just, I believe it was last Monday morning, and we didn't know about it. We see it on Facebook apparently, but a bunch of people in our town went to our local hospital, parked in the parking lot at 7:00 in the morning, turned on their lights and prayed for the healthcare
Turned on their
flashers and prayed for the healthcare workers. How wonderful is that to uplift other people at this time? We walked around the neighborhood today and we saw hearts in people's windows. People are doing things. We're doing things that we don't normally do, but that we should do all the time, not just in the midst of crisis. And that's talking to our neighbors, even though we're standing on either side of driveways and staying 6 feet apart.
Right. Our next door neighbor is the president of our hospital. She's a dynamic woman, very, very, very good for this community. And someone drew chalk on her sidewalk that said "Heroes at Work." And so when you show respect here, it's easier to show respect everywhere else. And what we're talking about is loving each other, but kind of veer away for a minute and talk about respecting our leaders. I'm not trying to make a political statement here, but I've had friends who are criticizing our federal government for what they've been doing. I've got friends that are, which is Republican government, and I've got friends that are criticizing our state government, which is a Democratic-led government. Folks, we're in uncharted territory. We've never been here before, ever. No one's navigated this. So to criticize any leader, all they're doing is making decisions based on the information that they have. So you know what we should do? We should pray for our leaders. And so that's what we're going to do right now. And after I pray, we're going to take some questions from you on love.
Well, we would like to actually encourage you to not just pray for our leaders, pray for our healthcare workers, pray for our truck drivers who are trying to keep everything in our stores, grocery store workers, those people who are still out there because we need stuff, and so they're having to put their life on the line in order to make sure that the stuff we need gets into the stores, gets into our cars, that we get taken care of at a hospital if we have symptoms. So please pray for those people every day. Just write those people down that, like Jay said, our neighbor is the president of our hospital system, which is just Alma. Isn't just Alma, it's Alma and Claire and Mount Pleasant that she's in charge of. We have a friend on the Mercy Ship in New York City. All these people, folks. We have Debbie Shadowin. I don't know if you guys are reading, but her husband's a truck driver. He's out there every day. He's in Alabama. He doesn't even get to be with her. So, it's going to make me cry.
Okay, so let me pray. God in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the chance that we can come before you. We lift up our leadership, Lord. Ask that you would give them wisdom. And then we lift up those people who are still out there working every day. Our truck drivers, our grocery store people, the gas station people, our healthcare people who are putting their lives at risk. Lord, we just ask that your Holy Spirit would guide and protect them in every move they make. Father, we thank you for love, and we thank you for the love of our lives. And we just pray that you would help us in this time to build that love. In Christ's name, amen.
And I realized when I put my head down to pray, you can see my gray hair streaks.
So if you have any questions on love, we'll take the next couple minutes and we'll fill those questions.
And if you're seeing here, it might come a delay here where we're looking at it, but you might have to see.
I'm gonna go look on YouTube
and see if we have any questions. But we'll be back here again next Friday night at 7 p.m. for the third fundamental, which is learn. How fun. We're going to learn something new. But if you have questions, we'd love to answer them right now. And if nobody has any questions,
pray that my wife will put up with me. Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy.
Put up with you, put up with him. It's all the same. We're all putting up with each other, but you know what? It's what we got to do. And so, yes, Chad, we are still doing P90X, and it's killing us. Gosh. Just so you know, we had to walk the last 2 days because for 3 days in a row, we did all of our arms and chest and back, and we couldn't do anything. So, yes, tomorrow we're back at it with hoop, 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 hoop stuff. I don't know. Really
martial arts. Yes, Chad asked the question.
Cody, thanks. Roots are in style. I know. I'm seeing it. I've got lots of friends who are going great. I'm just not ready to do that yet, but I may have to, regardless of the fact. So,
embrace all the gray hair. These aren't questions, but
but you're making me feel better. I know. So if I go gray, you guys are going to be.
So what's going to happen if I don't get to the beauty salon? My hairdresser, whatever you want to call her, my friend Kamala. This right here, this will look like a 1970s afro. I'm telling you, pretty soon.
So Kathy's asking, how do you keep your love growing? I'm assuming you mean in these times, or maybe you're just meaning how do you keep your love growing? 35 years. You know what? That's really what we're sharing with you right now is that fundamentals are how you keep your love growing.
I'm going to say this: get away and get ahead. Our best memories are when we got the heck away together, just the two of us. And we've got such great memories of going to Chicago, going to Mackinac Island.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be weeks at a time. It could just be days. I mean, and obviously right now we can't do that. So that's why we're suggesting go for a walk. Sit down with each other over a cup of coffee.
Naked.
I didn't
say
naked.
I did.
Put together a puzzle, play a game. Naked. Our son and daughter-in-law told us that, Wednesday night they played a game together, just the two of them. And do those kinds of things that, folks, we don't normally have time to do because we live such busy lives. So take advantage of these times right now. Let's see if we've got any. When are you going to put out a new conversation video? A new one, Brandon? New? You think we can do that again? Or are you saying we need to update it because we were really young? Well, we'll try and do that. By the way, ears continue to grow throughout your life as well.
That's maybe that because you can hear better as you get older.
Kendall, my wife Googled how to cut men's hair. My hair looks great. Showed love to me. Our best getaway ever was our love cruise. And Holly, cruise with Celebrate Ministries. Actually, yeah. You know what I read today? Because we've kind of been thinking about that because next year, January, our cruise leaves from Puerto Rico. And I read today that cruises are up. Even though people are on these cruises right now and they can't get in port, cruises are up. So people are looking forward to when they can live normally again. And yes, if you want more information about our cruise, it's on our Facebook page. It's also on our website at janlaura.com.
I will tell you this. One of the ways to keep loving, you got to serve, you got to communicate, you got to be intimate, you got to have respect. But I'm a big proponent of anticipation. Anticipation over spontaneity. Mm-hmm. We watch these shows and they spontaneously combust into flames of love.
Spontaneously.
And whatever. Please, that's not real life. But anticipation, like the way you anticipate Christmas or your birthday, you say, hey, we're going to get away together. And that romance builds around the fact that we're going to get away together. And we're leaving the kids behind. We're leaving the troubles behind. We're leaving work behind. It's going to be just the two of us. And we're going to be together. And it's going to be wonderful.
Here's what we'd like to challenge you to do this weekend. Actually, we're going to challenge you to two things. The first one is decide when you get off this video, when we're done and we shut down the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live, look at each other and say, what's one thing we're going to get done this weekend? Maybe it's go for a walk. You know what we're going to do tomorrow? We're going to clean couches, which we don't ever do. We're going to clean baseboards. We're going to clean fans, things that we don't do normally around our house. And so we just said that today. You know what? Here's some things that need to be done, and we're going to get it done. We're going to check it off our list. So when you get off of here, decide something together. And then here's what I'd ask you to do. Either take a picture of you doing that, post it on our Facebook page, or just put a comment. Say, hey, here's what we did. The other thing we'd like to ask you to do, and this has been really fun. I have a friend, Kathy Nicodemus, who's been posting on her Facebook page funny conversations that she and her husband are having because they're quarantined together. Give us some funny stories that's happening.
We might write a book.
And we want to share them. We want to share them with other people because you know what? Laughter, that's what we talked about last week, was that first fundamental is laughter. And I've had fun reading Kathy's funny stories that she and her husband, Dan, have been having at home during this quarantine time. So share with us your funny stories. Share with us your funny stories and then decide when you get off this Facebook Live, YouTube Live, what you're going to do this weekend. You have Saturday and Sunday to get something done because we're still kind of at the weekend, and even though everything kind of runs together, something you're going to get done this weekend. And we'll check in with you next Friday night to see if you got it done.
Hey, we're Jay and Laura LaFoon. Our mission in life is to help busy couples stay happily married for life. And especially in this time of uncertainty, this unprecedented event that we're going through, we want to help you stay happily married for life. We're so blessed that we're not in Florida, but we're here every weekend now for 8 weeks to help you have some fun. We're going to bring the fun, we're going to bring the laughter, and we're going to answer your questions.
Debbie, we know you can't do the assignments because David's in Alabama, but we're sorry. Call him and tell him we love him. And then Chad says he's got to get out and buy some Vaseline. Be safe, Chad. Be safe. That's all we ask. Be safe. Hey, guys, we'll see you next Friday night at 7 p.m. Same time, same station. Is that what they say of Batman? Same time, same bat station.
Same bat time, same bat station.
That's just, made us old for Batman. But hey, guys, we love you. We'll see you next Friday night.
God bless.
And that one too.
Ding.